Hello fight fans, Pat Sullivan here with Mariano Agmi sitting ringside at Encore Casino here in Massachusetts for Fight Night. This is a fight night that is going to feature everything, Mariano, from some young up-and-coming prospects, some older fighters who are now making a name back in the sport, and of course at the very top for the NABF Championship, we have Francis Hogan and Antonio Todd. This is a big one tonight, and let's first talk about the main event. You have Antonio Todd, you have Francis Hogan fighting at the main event. To be able to fight for a WBC world title fight, you have to first take these steps and you have to win the NABF team. You look at anyone who's ever won the green belt, they had to win this belt first. This is a big one tonight for both Francis Hogan and Antonio Todd in their career.
That's right. Guys like Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier have fought and won the NABF title. It really is a pathway to the world rankings and, of course, eventually a title shot. So tonight I think we're going to find out whether Francis Hogan really is what he has promised to be, and that's a middleweight champion.
And to get to that point, you certainly do have to capture glory tonight, and we're going to see that later tonight. That is the main event of tonight's action, brought to you by CES Boxing and Granite Chin Promotions. We also have 7 other fights on the card, some really exciting young prospects like Christian Moura, Jadel Pazmino, but there's also a lot of really exciting local matchups like Jonathan DePina, Elijah Peja. What fight are you most excited for tonight?
And it is that one, Jonathan DePina against Elijah Pejoto. Elijah was in a Fight of the Year contender earlier this year against Anuel Rosa, and I think with Jonathan DePina having 4 times as many fights, it'll be interesting to see how Pejoto deals with him.
A lot of exciting action coming your way tonight here. We are ringside at Encore Casino. Now let's head to the center of the ring to ring announcer John Vina to introduce tonight's first fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now ready for our first bout of the evening. Please welcome to the ring, Thorton.
Michael Thornton makes his way here to the ring. This is his New England debut as a professional boxer, 0-1 as a pro. Also has some mixed martial arts history too as well. Told us yesterday at the weigh-in he's been training combat sports since he was 4 years old. Of course, only 25, but still 21 years of experience. That's a lot of combat sports. That's a lot of punches thrown. Excited tonight to see what he can do. He said that in all of his combat sports history, everything's been short notice, short notice, short notice. He's had a training camp for this one, so we're going to see the best and most prepared version of Michael Thornton that we can see.
Absolutely. These guys are almost the same age, 25 and 26. They turned pro within a few weeks of one another in September. It'll be exciting to see how they work out as professionals.
You can hear right now through our microphones, Christian Moura is the hometown favorite here tonight. He's a local EMT out of Lowell, Massachusetts, where he made his pro debut for CES just a few short months ago. Mariano, that fight, he was in there as an unsigned prospect making his pro debut. He took a little bit of time off between amateur and pro career. He caught the eye of Jimmy Birchfield, a promoter who's promoted countless champions in the sport. Moura performed so well that day. He handled himself like such a professional that Jimmy Birchfield signed him immediately, and this is his CES debut, only in his second fight as a pro.
Well, Pat, what you look for in a fighter is not just talent, because he definitely has it, but also marketability. And when you hear the roar of the crowd when he made his pro debut in Lowell, we knew that we had something there.
And the way that he handled himself as a true professional certainly added to the fact that he was a very valuable commodity to a promotion like CES Boxing. Let's head to the center of the ring to John Vina for the official fighter introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, your first bout of the evening is scheduled for 4 rounds in the bantamweight division. This bout is proudly sponsored by Trinity Solar and Marshall Roofing and Sheet Metal, as well as Everybody Fights. Your referee for this contest is Scotty LaPointe. Introducing first, boxing in the blue corner to my left. He's wearing black in the weight trim. He weighs in
We are ready to go here at Encore Casino, the first Boston Harbor Fight Night in casino history. Certainly excited to be here for this and to be ringside calling this action. And I think we're going to see some fireworks to start. Yesterday at the weigh-in, both sides had a lot of action on the scales. They both were talking a lot of words to each other about what they were going to do tonight. But I'll tell you, what an entrance for Christian Moura. He walks out with Rashidi Ellis, who's one of the best fighters in the world. Mike Thornton is one of the best upcoming fighters around. I mean, you have to perform when you walk out with that team. Absolutely.
They're coming from the LFG gym in New Hampshire, and you can see he has the right backing behind him. He shares the same trainer in Anthony Rivera, and he has an aggressive style.
We can see right now Michael Thornton trying to be the aggressor, throwing those overhand rights, now switching stance, trying to confuse the young Moura. Moura certainly doesn't seem phased. He's ready to get in whatever kind of style fight this is going to be, whether it's a brawl, whether it's going to be more style. Nice shot to the body there.
And Pat, as you mentioned, he has that MMA background, and you can see that something they do very often is switch from southpaw to orthodox, and that's what he's doing here when it comes to Thornton.
You know, a fighter like Moura, who does have such a good team around him, has a good gym that he trains at, a lot of good training partners, you train to be almost a perfectionist, right? And then when it gets into a fight like this, where maybe you're not fighting a guy who's as stylistically sound as you are, it can turn into an ugly fight. But right now, Moura's doing a really good job not trying to go for the knockout, trying to be composed. The shot's there, now right there. That was a beautiful shot right there, and Thornton went down hard.
That was a left hand, and I think this fight is over.
Yeah, I see Moura mimicking Thornton the way that he was on the scale yesterday, but Thornton got right back up. He wanted to keep fighting. Thornton pleading his case, saying he's okay. Let's see how quickly Moura jumps on. There's a lot of time left in this round, Mariano. A minute and a half, that's a lot of time left. And you can see the way Thornton's trying to throw those shots. He's leaving his left side wide open.
And I really like the way Moura is setting up his shots. Another left hand drops in.
That left hand keeps landing, and that's it. Referee's going to call a stop to the action with 1 minute, 10 seconds to go here in round number one. What a great performance by Moura tonight.
Absolutely, it looked like an up jab.
We were talking about the way that when you fight somebody who's not orthodox, that it can sometimes create some challenges. Maybe you lean in a little bit too much. You try to go for something that's not there because you think, I need to be better than this fighter because I'm a traditional boxer. But I was really impressed with the way that Moura started the fight a little calm, right?
Yeah.
He got hit a few times. He was ready to keep coming forward, but he never seemed like he got rattled. And then when the shot was there, it opened up. And you could tell after that first knockdown, it was probably only a matter of time before he landed that one. But talk about two clean shots on the button.
Absolutely. And, as you mentioned, Thornton was trying to lure him into a war. Moura was very disciplined, made sure that he countered him well. And I'm very impressed with the way he dropped him twice with an up jab.
You see right now Moura celebrating with his team. Alex Rivera, Anthony Rivera, Rashidi Ellis, Krista Vega, Mike Fontanez. We talked about when you come out with that corner, you got to put on a show. He certainly did. And of course, Jimmy Birchfield Sr., his promoter now, in his corner right now, celebrating with his young prospect too. You know what? Coming up in this weight class at 120 pounds, if you can punch like that and have that power, I think that he has a great future in this sport. Let's find the official particulars from John Vina in the center of the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time. 1 minute, 55 seconds of round number one. Referee's final report stops this contest. Your winner by TKO victory and still undefeated, Christian Moura.
Christian Moura with the first round knockout, and now Steve Mays, CES reporter, now in the ring here to talk to the fighter.
Encore Casino, that's how we start this off. Christian, how do you feel after the big win right there? He had a lot to say in the way, but it looked like you did your talking with the face. Is that what you do with the Riveras and that gym over there? Absolutely. You got smart. You got to keep everything very calm, be smart, you got a great camp right here. You got be a 2-0 with 2 knockouts. Well, I'll tell you what, it's a good start, and you got the best promoter in boxing behind you, so you're going to stay.
A first round knockout, now 2-0 with 2 knockouts in a very young and extremely promising career for Christian Moura out of Nashua, New Hampshire. More fights coming to you from Encore Casino coming up next.